There's no way you can really see these type of people coming.
Where them kicks at? Where them hands? Where them holes? Where them throws? You know what I'm saying?
You can't see these type of people coming because they look very non-threatening and very non-assuming. If you don't know what I'm talking about, take a look at this video that I'm using for fair use.
Out of Woodside, where a martial arts studio is now at the center of an investigation into Instructor, who's accused of raping an underage student.
News Force Michael George is live now with a closer look at that case. Michael, the question now, could there be more victims?
Yes, Stefan, that's what police are hoping to find out. Take a look behind me. You'll see a sign on the door of Hugo's Taekwondo that says closed for the holiday. But the real reason they're closed is that the master instructor here is accused of sexually abusing one of his 12-year-old students repeatedly. Parents bringing their kids to Taekwondo class at Hugo's Taekwondo in Woodside found the place locked up, and they were stunned to learn why.
It's concerning. I can't believe it. I'm pretty in shock.
The DA's office says the master Taekwondo instructor, 36-year-old Hector Quincy, abused a 12-year-old female student several times over the last 2 months. According to the complaint, the abuse happened inside the studio.
Pretty shocked because the instructor is very professional, very good with kids, very nice, very respectful.
Most recently, prosecutors say Quincy raped the young girl just this past Saturday. We spoke with the owner of Hugo's Taekwondo, and I asked him what he wants to say to the victim's family.
I feel very bad for her family, because everybody in martial arts, we made like family.
Quincy has been fired, and he's now facing a charge of rape. The owner says they never had any indication Quincy was abusing a student.
I am very surprised because that guy never do anything,
The prosecutors want to know if there are any other victims out there, and they're asking parents to come forward. Quincy's bond was set at $100,000. If convicted, he could face a maximum sentence of 25 years behind bars.
Now, since this is my channel, and yes, I do make everything about me on my channel because it's my channel, I guarantee you, if you stood me next to that instructor, you would feel more comfortable with that instructor than you would feel with me. And that is because of cultural conditioning. That guy does not look the least bit threatening. He looks like he's in very good shape, and he looks like somebody who would be good with kids and all that type of stuff. And here I am, I'm some really big, bald, aging dude who sometimes loses it on people. So you might go, oh my gosh, I wouldn't want my child to go there. I'm going to take him to this guy, and he does it full time, and that Cecil guy only does it part time, and who is he affiliated with anyway? He doesn't have all that other stuff, because some people don't think that my credentials are official because my credentials aren't with what they think they should be. And now I've got my own made up style, even though all styles are made up. But see, predators like this fly under the radar because they know about your fears. They know your fears better than you. They know how to play you. They know how to manipulate you. That's how they get you. I'm not going to say that if I had a storefront, somebody like this couldn't get over on me. But I will say this. One way I think you can cut down on this type of stuff, and I'm not saying all storefronts are bad because clearly they're not. This is clearly the exception that makes the news. This is clearly the exception against the rule. Okay? But one way some of these people can get around and get access to your children, get around background checks, access to your children, is by going to storefronts. If you teach through the county like I do, we have to get criminal background checks every year to every other year. We get them on the regular. Now, they used to allow us to use volunteers to come and get into the class, or maybe like a student that's there can get elevated to volunteer if they can start teaching. But once that person becomes some type of instructor, they even had me do this with my volunteers. Even though those people came up under me, 3 out of the 4 of them came up under me, and 2 of them were actually my own children, okay? They still had to get a background check. The county has cracked down and says you are not going to be teaching anything or helping to teach anything unless you've got a background check. Now, having a background check unfortunately, is still not foolproof because you got predators that are so slick they have not been caught and they might not even get caught forever. That's not mentioning the fact that, and this is going to make me step on hot water, the willingness of some of the victims. Now, the victim is still a victim because you legally cannot consent to certain things because you are not old enough. Okay? But if they know how to manipulate the victim to make the victim think that the bad is not the bad, then what are you going to do? If the victim's not saying anything, or if the victim is too afraid, if you are a victim and you are too afraid to say something, then nobody can help you. Okay? I've been mistreated too. We all have, okay? I understand. I'm not trying to come down on people that are victims of stuff, but you have to realize that nobody can help you. There's only two ways out. You have to speak up, or you have to do like I did with people that, were victimizing me and stuff. I realized I can age out of this. I can get so big because I'm becoming grown. They're not going to be able to do anything after a while. If they try anything, I'm going to hurt them. I'm going to beat them up, which I did. And it was such a beautiful day when I finally stood up to my main tormentor. God is a good God. And martial arts training did enable that. I'm being vague on purpose. So when I tell you that martial arts training can help you stand up to people that are taking advantage of you, they can. The only way it can't help you is if you're dealing with narcissists, or like if it's a supervisor at a job or a manipulative coworker or something like that, or like the law itself. Okay, I haven't figured out how to get around that yet. But just straight up interpersonal, oh yes it can. Now back to this subject. Of course the parents don't know what to say. Of course the person who actually owns the school don't know what to say. What do you say to something like this? What do you say? I'm almost tempted not to even report it because I don't want to spread negativity. I don't want this to be a negative channel. I don't want to be negative Nelly talking bad news. But guess what though? This is something that happens. This is something that's real. This is something that we have to deal with. This is the world that we live in. Okay? And I have on this channel solutions. Solutions I think that could prevent this. Like the student, especially if it's a 12-year-old student of the opposite gender, sometimes even the same gender. Why do they need to be alone with the instructor? Really? Why do they need to be alone with the instructor? Ever? Ever? Why? They don't. Even if the parent doesn't need to be in the room, there could still be in a place where there are cameras. You can have security camera footage. Really, parents, you know what you need to do if you want your children to learn how to fight. Because a lot of you don't care about cultural enrichment. You don't care about discipline. You don't care about structure. You say you do, but you don't. You want your child to be able to whoop somebody's behind if somebody so much as sneezed the wrong way. That's what you want. You're not there for character. You want to come to a lot of people like me so you can learn how to beat somebody up. And you feel like I want them to learn by somebody who really know how to beat up somebody and learn how to fight better than me. So I'm going to send them here. Or you think you're too cute to be in a martial arts class. You think it's just for children, so you want to enroll. But see, the solution, parents, is that you need to enroll in the class with the child. That's actually the real solution. If you really want to protect your child from abuse, you need to enroll in the class too, so that you and the whole family is there, or at least most of the family, or however much of the family is there. You need to be in the class too, parents. You need to let go of your ego. You need to let go of your selfishness. You need to enroll in the class too if you want your child to be able to learn how to defend himself or herself. And you don't have to know as much as the instructor, but your being there is going to get rid of predators. Because the predator can't act if there are eyes on him or her, and I said her too, him or her, we got to stop trying to want to kiddie up martial arts. We need to make it a family community thing so that the whole family and community can keep an eye on people. That's one thing, and I normally don't like to name drop, but I'm going to say that is one thing I really appreciate about my time when I was in Maryland Judo Association. They had everybody in there. Old people, young people, black people, white people, red people, brown people, yellow people, blue people, old people, new people, still people, still people, all types of people looking around, just doing their thing. You don't have to hover over your child the whole time because somebody else is there. If you're having a bad, I just need to sit back. But your child is doing something, you can get instructed at your own pace, blah, 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 blah. Okay? That's what we need. That's what we need. We need to do this as a community. A community. So, when you see people like me who don't quite have that type of whole community structure, I just have the support of a community center. If you're wondering why, he goes, hey, great class, and then I'm out. It's because I'm trying to model something. I'm trying to model boundaries for your child. So the child subconsciously knows this coach does not really need to be up in my face unless we're doing business. Okay? The most I should intrude in your child's life is waiting with the child when you're late to pick him or her up. That's it. And I tell people when I do my lessons in my basement or private lessons, if the child is a minor, you have to sit there with the child. I am tempted to not allow parents to sit there because parents may want to try the moves and parents may get hurt. A good way for parents not to get hurt if they try the moves is if the parents were students too. If the parents were students too. I've even said to the point, get yourself to black belt and then you train your child yourself. And if anything else, I can grade everybody. If you feel like you just want a true external authority over what's going on, you can train them. I can grade them. I can critique you. You got every once in a while you say, hey, Cecil, you busy? Can you come by? Blah, blah, blah. Hey, man, no problem. I got to work. I can't do it this day, or I got something planned with family this day. Let's squeeze it in. I schedule. I come by. I might not even charge you. I might not even charge you. Now, I might charge you, but I might not. I probably won't if it's not that many. If it's too many, then I might have to start charging just to keep it under a reasonable amount of control. So that's what we need to do. We all have to look over these people's shoulders. I'm pretty sure that child that was in New York, or the children that were in New York, were not abused in public with other prying eyes. They had to be alone with that instructor. Why do the children need to be alone with their coach? When I played Little League basketball, we were never alone with the coach, ever. Why do you need to be alone with your Taekwondo instructor? You really don't. If there's anything I feel like is so bad that I only want the student to know it, I don't even want their parents to know of it or know about it, I probably should not be handing that off to someone who is not 18 years old. So that's my guideline. What I say sometimes, and I've said this, and other people know I've said, don't share this with your friends, because if your friends try this, they may hurt themselves or they may hurt someone else. But if I feel like it's a super secret death technique or something that you give this to a non-martial artist, it's just wreaking havoc in the world, then I should not be giving that information out to somebody who's under 18. Dare I say even under 21, because they're just too immature and they're just going to be too reckless with it. So, and in case if you're wondering what my opinion is of that person, of course, I think he should die and I hope he burns in hell. Straight up Sam Jackson style in A Time to Kill. Well, how do you think I feel? Duh, that should be obvious. So let's make this the exception and not the rule. Let's keep it that way. We need to go upside the heads of these people that are doing this stuff. And, you know, there's a lot of other things I say we need to do too, but I'm just not going to go into that. Well, this video is going to take forever. So if you come back to this video, probably not tonight, but in the future, I'm going to just put links to other things where I have solutions. I know I got a playlist on my channel where I'm talking about how we can prevent instructor abuse. And I got, you know, like working in threes and stuff like that. You know, where you basically everybody's always looking out. Not that nobody trusts anybody, but everybody's always looking out. Because you know what could happen too? Like when I was in Viper Strike and I trained under Mr. Shorts, God rest his soul, and he had all ages, all types, and everything up in there. Guess what? When he needed help, we helped him. Because he wasn't there with just a bunch of kids by himself, or just with a kid by himself. When Mr. Shorts, Steve, I know he said I could call him Steve. When Steve Shorts, God rest his soul, he's gone on to be with the Lord. When he had his heart attack, boom, 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 we were on it. There was a doctor there. She came, was looking at him. I didn't even know she was a doctor. She was a doctor. Somebody knew, oh, my mother, blah, blah, blah. I know what to do. I'm going to call the EMT while the doctor's looking at him. I just was just there for moral support, and he asked me to ride with him. You know, other people were keeping people calm and stuff like that, and we all just rallied around him. Somebody ran down to the desk. See, it's not just about protecting the children per se. It's about protecting everybody. We all have to protect each other. We all are in this together, man. That's the only way we're going to get through it. So thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Please share this with people like to talk martial arts. If you're a religious praying person, please pray for those victims. And peace.